whereas 10 feet is required. Secondly, we have a building coverage variance for requesting 76% coverage, where a maximum of 70% is permitted. A side yard setback for one side of 3.8 feet, whereas a minimum of 10 is required. And then combining that with the total side yard setback, again of 3.8 feet, where a minimum of 10 is required. And then with respect to a rear yard setback or a side and lower yard setback, where a minimum of 10 feet is required. We will provide testimony in support of all of those variances, but we will assert to you that we do believe that they are fairly inconsequential in nature when you take into consideration the magnitude of the application and its interrelationship with the property and the existing dwelling zone. One of the things that I think that I would put out there now is you will see in some of the exhibits various types of signage, all with the, I think, very familiar Brunswick Johnson logo. Our expectation is we are not asking the board this evening to approve any signage with respect to the building and the ancillary signage that's associated with the various uses, directional, and so forth. Because some of the signage we're still looking at in terms of what the overall will provide. Our expectation is we will be back to the board, assuming that the board will see fit to approve the application variances with a full signage package, which then we have the opportunity, hopefully in the very near future, to sign off on. We're looking at some types of things that may be a little bit innovative and will fit in nicely in the character of what's being proposed there. But we felt that rather than try to do it piecemeal until sometime and then come back to others, we can do it all in one. But again, not to confuse you, we will see something on some of these exhibits that may or may not end up being here, but some of which probably will. I just think it's an overview. I'd like to realize that to avoid any confusion. My expectation is to provide 5 witnesses for you this evening. It sounds a lot, but a lot of it is fairly straightforward, which the board being familiar with the testimony. We'll give you a brief overview. We will provide civil engineering testimony to provide exterior and interior understanding of the building and the location. We will provide you also architectural testimony so you can get flavor from the architectural. We'll provide traffic testimony so you can have an understanding of the study that was done in relationship to a new parking facility. And we will provide planning testimony for you to provide overall support to that. With that as an overview, at this time I will call my first witness. Unless there's any questions for me. Mr. David Vogel for testimony.
Can you raise your right hand, state your name, swear to the answer, please?
David C. Vogel, V-O-G-L-E.
Swear the whole business now?
Yes, I do.
Dave, you are the, I believe, Vice President for Operations for Brunswick Johnson?
Correct.
And in that capacity, you are familiar with the plan that's being proposed for the garage and the office component for this project?
That is correct.
And I think you provided testimony on behalf of Robert Wood before with regard to other applications before the board?
Also correct.
Okay. If you could then, could you give the board a general overview of what the program is that gave rise to this plan and the ultimate result of coming before the board this evening with this building and proposed site?
Thank you for letting us present this project. This is really important to us. This is sort of phase 1 of a master facilities plan that the hospital is contemplating doing. And the overall goal, not part of this particular project, is to alleviate our emergency department overcrowding problem that we currently have. So in phase 1, we're proposing to build this parking structure with some office space above. In our master facilities plan, we're trying to deal with, like I said, our emergency department overcrowding, competition for parking spaces in and around the campus between staff, visitors, physicians, people that just want to park, and so forth. And we also have some electrical infrastructure shortcomings on the campus that we're going to address with this project. And we're also going to consolidate various IT functions and other office functions in the hospital into the office space, all designed eventually to carve space out and allow expansion for the ED department. So this is a very exciting project for us. We've designed it to fit as our entry into a very signature building that connects our campus with downtown. That was very much on top of the parking and the other stuff. is we've designed, which the consultants will get into in much more detail, with some very great access points that come from our main lobby into this building, down to French Street, across, and then right into downtown to the wellness center and the grocery store and beyond, as well as create a great streetscape on Little Albany, French Street, which is very much of a focus of our master facilities plan. You'll see later when we hopefully come back to you with our phase 2. We have another French Street piece coming up, and as well as also a connection to the train platform, visually at this point. So I thank you very much, and with that, I'll let it consult.
If I could just ask one question so we have an understanding of it. You are be actually shifting parking around in the interior of various garages?
That's correct.
Just for this particular location that's being proposed this evening, and it's, I guess, 722 spaces. This particular garage is going to be used for what?
Just employee parking.
So this will be strictly for employee parking?
That's correct.
Okay. I have no further questions. At this time, I will call Mr. Stephen Aduato for testimony.
You raise your right hand, state your name, spell your last name, please.
Stephen, S-T-E-P-H-E-N, Aludo, A-L-U-O-T-T-O.
Say that one more time.
A-L-U-O-T-T-O.
Can you just go to the truth this time?
Yes.
Mr. Aludo, excuse me. Could you give you are familiar with the plan itself, you are responsible for the overall could you give the board the benefit of your professional qualifications and experience?
I am a principal and president of MJ Architects, located in Morristown, New Jersey. I was over about 40 years last year. I've been with the firm for 22 years. The principal of the firm for 20, president for the last 7. I'm now a member of the American Institute of Architects. I serve as president of the U.S. Civilian section of the organization. I have a degree in Bachelor of Architecture from the New Jersey Institute of Technology, and continuing education at Harvard School of Design for the past 10 years.
You offer Mr. Aludo for multi-reference. If you could please just give us a general overview of the concept of the building itself, and again, rather than asking specific questions, I'll just ask you to give us an overview of everything in the building. Feel free to use the exhibits as part of the
We do have a series of exhibits if you'd like to mark us when as we go. We can do that. Okay. Well, let's start off with first exhibit, which is an aerial photograph. A1. This is labeled AER2. This is an aerial photograph depicting the site and its surrounding environs. I'm pointing to the site here, which is bordered on the north side by the Albany Street and the south side by French Street. The east end of the site it goes against the elevated rail, and then on the west end of the site abuts the existing MED building and the existing garage and hospital functions with access to the atrium level. The plan itself, we want to quickly to these initial exhibits. Exhibit A2, I suppose, is a rendered site plan. And we see here a footprint of the building in a large area of the site, Little Albany again to the north, French Street to the south. This building is approximately a little over 359,000 square feet in area. It is housed on 11 levels. The first 9 levels of this building are dedicated to staff parking for the hospital, providing a total of 718 parking spaces. The upper 2 levels of the building will house administrative functions for Robert Johnson University Hospital, and those administrative functions house just under 62,000 square feet. The vehicular access to the parking is provided on both the Little Albany Street and the French Street sides. And I will save testimony with the subsequent professionals on the details of that. Pedestrian access as well are provided on both sides of the building. with a central lobby that I'll talk a little bit about more momentarily on the Little Albany Street side, as well as an access lobby on the French Street side. Exhibit A3 is a floor plan.
Yeah, I said 723 is the notice.
What is it?
It's far above the requirement.
Exhibit A3 is a floor plan of the concourse level. We refer to the level that lines up with the existing atrium level of adjacent properties as the concourse level. And this exhibit illustrates pedestrian connections to that level that was testified to previously will afford comfortable access for visitors and staff from the hospital to travel to downtown in a protected environment, climate-wise. It also provides safe egress for occupants of the adjacent hospital and atrium through both the lobbies that I pointed out earlier. Access to that atrium for pedestrians, again, is provided at both French Street and Little Albany Street through a series of elevators and stairways. With regard to the building's exterior, exhibit A4 is an elevation of French Street, architecturally rendered elevation. And in this exhibit, I will point out to you, starting from the north end of the building, looking down toward the east on French Street, we have a lobby that I just referred to, the entry lobby, at the north end of the building. And then adjacent to that, at the sidewalk level, we're providing a series of storefronts. The first bay of these storefronts will be the exterior wall of actual business space for the hospital, office space within the hospital at that lower level. The balance of these storefronts have a dimensional depth of approximately 3 feet to them, and those will allow for community-based programs to be displayed, wellness programs and that for the hospital in a changing exhibit for something that's dynamic and changing over time with the seasons, providing a retail and pedestrian feel to that side of the building. There are some architectural fixtures to enhance that as well. If I move up,
Just because these are closed storefronts, not actual stores.
correct in the sense, but as I said, they have dimension to them so that they actually be three-dimensional objects. No stores behind them except that the first one is occupied. Moving up the building, as I indicated earlier, the first 9 levels of the building are dedicated to parking. We are the open bays, otherwise open bays, will be sheathed in an architectural curtain wall. The glazing within this curtain wall would be frosted so as to not allow the views of the parking behind them. And then there's we're proposing the topmost level of parking at level 9 to be somewhat open to provide architectural relief in that elevation, separating that from the 2 office floors on top as I'm indicating here. The building is generally 236 feet in height, and it does go above that at the east end for a small mechanical penthouse, and then on the Albany Street side for an elevator penthouse, which goes up an additional about 11 feet 9 inches. Turning around to the Little Albany elevation, and this would be A5, exhibit A5. We see similar treatment with the brick base, the curtain wall, and the parking levels and the administrative levels on top of that. With regard to the finish of the building, the structure of this building will be precast concrete. All precast concrete exposed to the exterior and within view will be an architecturally treated, textured, colored concrete. Compatible with that will be brick shown here, as you see in the in brick color, to be compatible in context with other adjacent hospital facilities, and of course the curtain wall construction as I described earlier. There is on the Little Albany Street side a 3-story lobby, and you can see an elevation here that provides pedestrian access and egress from the building. It also connects the pedestrian walkways that connect to the concourse level. We're approaching here, and as part of this project, the entry to the existing garage will be moved north, and that will be refinished and identified in compatible style with the proposed new building. At the east end of the elevation, on the narrowmost end of the site, that which is visible traveling north on, or west rather, on Albany Street, the narrow part of the building is shown here, and the architectural treatment proposed is again a combination of an architecturally finished precast brick, or precast concrete rather, brick, curtain wall, and some steel structure. And again, as was pointed out earlier, future proposals for the signage will be presented, but the intent of this side of the building is to take advantage of its gateway posture to downtown Brunswick, and as a gateway entrance to the hospital, and have that both architecturally proportional and able to accommodate some signage in the future. The curtain wall, or glazing rather, again, will be frosted on that side as well, on all sides of the parking level to screen the parking. We will have curtain wall vision glass at the top for administration, and then a more clear glass for the 3-story lobby entry along Albany Street. With that, I would like to present to you a series of 3-dimensional preliminary renderings that further visually perhaps describe pointing out here. This is A6 now. A6 is a 3-dimensional rendering from the French Street side. Again, showing the existing NAB and parking levels are shown in exhibit left. The French Street entry lobby and vertical circulation tower is indicated in the center of the diagram, and then you can see the sidewalk design, as I pointed out earlier, with the uppermost levels of the building shown thus. A7 is a similar 3-dimensional rendering, this time, in this case, taken from the Albany Street side, and I trust this points out a little more clearly what I was describing in terms of the 3-story lobby, which provides entry and egress to this building, but moreover, provides the connection to the concourse and atrium level of the adjacent structures, which will allow for visitors and hospital staff to come down through those routes that I described earlier, and down onto Albany on the other side of the building, down to French Street, and to see the town. The section behind that 3-story lobby is the elevator lobby that connects all levels of parking and the administration floors above. And then the last exhibit will be marked A8. And that is a view looking at the east end or narrow end of the building with the elevated railway in the foreground and a view into the center of the hospital complex.
Any further questions for Chief? Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, I would call you're welcome, Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Alfred. Chris, if you could give us a general overview from an engineering perspective, and again, I'll allow you to just go through the various aspects of engineering. I would ask you to touch upon specifically with the exhibits or location of variances that I did describe, and I know we'll have an opportunity to address some of Mr. engineering.
Sure. The first thing I'll start off is just kind of discussing the existing site. I know Steve touched on this. The site is currently occupied by a surface parking lot, which is used by Robert Wisconsin employees. valet parking and also potential visitor parking. There is an existing access drive in the northwest corner of the site providing access to the existing parking garage. Right now, this access drive, if you've been on site in the morning, tends to back up a little bit. There are so many different users trying to get to this garage right now, employees, visitors, doctors, which we'll talk about a little more. We'll talk about proposed improvements to try and mitigate some of these issues. Moving to our site plan design, there were two key issues we looked at when we're trying to design new access points to get vehicles into and out of the garage. We're proposing a new entrance from Front Street through the existing garage into our proposed structure. We're proposing a new entrance from Little Albany Street, and we're proposing to shift the aforementioned entrance approximately 50 feet to the west into the existing garage. The two key factors, and this is also based on some input from the city, that we thought needed to be addressed when we started designing these entrances were we wanted to eliminate the possibility of queuing back into the existing roadways in Front Street into Little Albany Street. And the other issue that was deemed to be of importance was pedestrian safety. We'll start out with entrance by entrance. The Front Street entrance is going to be a signalized intersection. We've currently submitted this application to Middlesex County. The county is generally behind modifying the existing signal. If you're familiar with the area, you know there's an existing traffic signal at the Front Street Joyce Gilmer intersection. We're proposing to also signalize ingress and egress into our garage from that same signal. We're modifying the design slightly, but it will be a light to allow cars to enter and exit the garage. We're proposing two 12-foot wide lanes, one in each direction into and out of the garage. At this entrance, we have a queuing length of approximately 100 feet, which is about 5 cars per queue onto the ramp, waiting to get into the garage without backing up on Front Street. Perhaps one of the biggest improvements that we're proposing right now, as vehicles try to enter from Little Albany Street, everything is done with tickets and transactions between the drivers and Robert Johnson's staff. What we're proposing at all of the new entrances is more of an easy pass function, where the vehicles drive up to it, being access card or a pad to raise the gate. Because Robert Johnson is so aware of the potential impact of queuing going over the vehicle roadways, during peak hours, Robert Johnson will have personnel operating the gates just to alleviate the possibility of queuing backing up onto each exit. As far as the pedestrian measures go at the Front Street intersection, the typical New Brunswick standard for parking garage driveways or driveways in general is a concrete sidewalk with a depressed concrete curb into the roadway. We felt that because of the typical pedestrians in New Brunswick, I don't want to say kids, but everyone does this, you're on your phone, you know, you have your iPod, your headphones plugged in, not necessarily paying that much attention. We felt if we could eliminate the concrete sidewalk, change to a pavement material, that material differentiation would alert the pedestrians as they're walking east-west or west-east direction that there are possible vehicles exiting from the parking lot. We're also proposing pedestrian signals, the classic walk, don't walk signal, which will be utilized at the Front Street entrance. Moving up to Little Albany Street, we're proposing 3 lanes. Each lane is 9 foot wide. The center lane is reversible depending on the time of day. During the peak inflow period, it will be in. During the peak outflow period, it will be an out. We're proposing similar measures as far as the material treatment with the asphalt exit way, and also ADA accessible handicap road. The modified entrance to the existing garage, we significantly increased the queue length from the previously proposed access. Queue length now is about 60 feet. Similar situation to what we have here at the Little Albany eastern entrance. We are proposing 3 lanes, 1 in, 1 out, and again a reversible lane in the center to accommodate any peak traffic. Secondly, a little bit from the entrance and looking at the site in general, I know Steve pointed out some of the features. We are proposing to replace all the sidewalks on Front Street in front of the building, sidewalks along Little Albany Street, and we're willing to repave upon completion of the project Little Albany Street in its entirety. One of the design features that we feel extremely beneficial to get from Front Street to Little Albany Street. To touch upon some of the variances quickly, the majority of the variances deal with setbacks. Along Front Street, the required setback is 10 feet. We're proposing a 6.9-foot setback to some of the storefront facades that Steve had mentioned. The actual building is more on the order of 8 to 9 feet. On the eastern property line, again, the required setback is 10 feet. We're proposing 2.8 feet. And then on the rear property line, we're proposing 0 feet. There was a section of the ordinance for the downtown hospital institutional zone which states you are able to mitigate some of these impacts from the setback or reduce the setback if you provide some open space and some public use on the property if you feel they're doing by providing the sidewalk and the open grass areas to the use of the property. The last variance deals with building coverage. The allowable building coverage is 70%, we're at 76 right now. And the reason for that has to do with the circulation in the garage in order to meet the required drive aisle width the city has, 2.4 foot requirement, and then also the parking stall non-regulating requirement. The way the site laid out, this proposed building will significantly increase our yield of parking spaces for the project, and that is the reason for the slight overture increase in building coverage. Okay, with you, I'll just go real quick over stormwater and utilities. I know it's not a hot topic, but just touch on it. Grading and draining plan which was submitted with our application. I think there were 22 comments, 19 of them I take no issue with, will apply to the others. I just like to have a very brief discussion. You want to read the full comment?
For the ones that you want to make a comment on.
This was a comment. See attached May 2nd, 2013 email from our consultant engineer performing capacity analysis on our water distribution system. The email indicates the existing 16 water main in Little Albany Street must be replaced with maintenance main from Somerset to East. The email also suggests that it will be completed by replacing 16th main on East End from Little Albany to Somerset. I'll show you where that is real quick. The applicant has already agreed to upsize to the 6-inch line from Little Albany, along Little Albany from East End, Somerset Street, on the 8-inch line. I think the additional comment was that the line here is also asked to be upsized. The applicant will have additional conversation on the matter. I'm not sure if we're ready to make a decision on that yet or not. We just want to hear some of the benefits it can do for us, and then we'll make a decision on it. Okay, great. Right, it wasn't mandated, it was just like to hear what you think the benefits are, and we like to always balance them out. We'll see if it makes sense for us to do it. The next comment dealt with ambulance traffic. With ambulance traffic, we need to make a left off Houston Avenue on Little Albany Street. Left turn is prohibited there, ambulances do that still. The ambulance traffic needs to make a left off of Houston, up Little Albany. Applicants will make suggestions and have improved intersections to make the scene safe and implement improved modifications. We are going to be repaving all Little Albany on a future project, so I think it is a good time to address that intersection. I was looking to get some input from you, and we don't have to do it tonight if you don't want to, as far as what you were looking for. There's an existing curb aisle here, which makes it difficult to make a left turn. My thought process was, do we facilitate left turn for ambulances, or by doing that, by making that curb island more willing to accommodate left turn, and then non-ambulance vehicles also willing to make that turn?
Well, by making it accessible to the ambulances, it makes it accessible to all the other vehicles.
Agreed.
I didn't know if there was any possibility of the ambulance taking a different route. I realize
I think it's the shortest route, right? Yeah.
probably preferred route,
Right.
or that. fighting that for a couple of years already, trying to figure out a way to handle and accomplish and improve everybody, but I just thought maybe another pair of eyes looking at it, might be able to come up and solve it.
Just work together and see if there's any problem. I actually made that letter today, try it out, it's pretty doable, so making it a little bit more difficult. Just the issues later. And the last comment, that was some of the landscaping and the lighting. Drawing up, we want to remove all proposed landscaping from the public right of way, and light fixtures be reduced to standard, street lights will type A fixtures shown, add additional street lights, will in Front Street, handicap ramp, at driveway to the curb, ramp ending, and almost 35%. I guess my first question is, if we were showing some proposed tree planting, tree pits along Front Street, and the applicant is willing to do whatever the city prefers, once the tree pits taken away, we do that, with preference to keep the tree pits in.
No, I think
Someone different, right?
tree pits were fine, it's mostly up along.
Along, I will shift those trees to be.
Some of those
Yep.
smaller, lower line shrubs,
Yep.
and your tree type fixtures are all within the right of way.
There was one, okay, we can shift those two pictures, that's not an issue, we'll shift landscaping down, to the south. The comment about the fixture type, that's fine, we will do that, we need to do standard fixture type. There was, the last comment I was talking about was the additional light fixtures, is there a set standard of fixtures right now? We're showing an average of like 1.63 foot candles along Little Albany and 1.88 foot candles along French Street. Is there a set number we're trying to hit, or?
I think I was, I'm not 100% sure, I think I was trying to average.
Here's the one hospital off of Front Street here, right by where Patterson Street, comes up on the service, the future garage, and minor utilities go there, or the office space above, it would be at the lower side.
And then, I think also there was a question with regard to bicycle racks in the garage.
Based on the conversation with Steve, we can absolutely provide bicycle racks in the garage.
I think that some of any questions we can find from, law.
That's right.
I know for the questions you have.
Like when traffic on, or like when you would just along the bike lane, we will provide you.
It was difficult for me to understand when we're making the move of the current entrance to the garage that backs up onto Little Albany Street, and you're moving it away from the railroad, if you will.
Yes,
You've got
correct.
what I can do. How does that relate to the entrance and exit of the Cancer Institute, which is across the street? That was what, so I'm pointing at the aerial one, because you can see the loop driveway.
Yep.
That, I just didn't want to create a conflict with regards to that facility with the movement of the current.
You are all set. Please don't tell anyone.
No one will notice, I promise.
Here is where the ingress and egress is going to be from the garage. So you do have almost
Couple car lights.
yeah, like 40 feet. So it's not like you're at the worst case scenario you have is you're off 10 feet, where it's not, you know, a perfect four-way intersection.
Yeah, I couldn't tell because you.
The survey doesn't go up that far.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
I have one question. On the existing building, is that line on, which would be the facade of the building that's on Front Street now, what's the setback on that?
the existing setback, almost less than a foot.
Okay, so this is actually further back, or 5.9 feet further back than the.
5.9 feet further back. Yep, we're 6.9 feet back, and this is, give or take 1.
And the whole facade is going to kind of blend into what's existing?
I'll let the architect answer that.
Okay, I'm sure that's architect, sorry.
In terms of the materials, yeah, yes, we hope over time we will do the context.
Thank you.
Okay.
Raise your right hand, state your name, swear or last name, please. John Cobalt, A-O-B, is in the third name. You swear to excuse me, sir? I do.
Mr. Cobalt, you are a professional engineer with New Jersey, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I believe your expertise is in traffic engineering?
That's correct.
In that capacity, you are familiar with a traffic study that was provided through your firm to the city for purposes of doing the traffic evaluation for this project?
That's correct. I was the law firm guy.
Could you give the board a minute, maybe for professional qualifications and experience?
Sure. Mr. Kelso said I'm a registered professional engineer in the state of New Jersey. I'm also a certified professional traffic operations engineer. I'm certified by the State Transportation Engineers. I have about 22 years of experience in traffic and transportation. Within the state of New Jersey, I work for a major consulting firm, the Lewis Berger Group, that does traffic and transportation infrastructure projects throughout the country and the world. Thank you. One thing I wanted to bring up first was that I had presented before this board as part of the Gateway Project and Wellness Project that Federal had undertaken. And when we started this project, we used that as our basis for some of our data that we have through the area. The first thing we wanted to do when we started the project was take traffic counts, current traffic counts throughout the area, given these new developments. We did those traffic counts in November of 2012, which was Rutgers University was still in session, and it was before the holidays, so it worked out as a very good time. We took that traffic data, we put it into our traffic model that was developed as part of some of the earlier studies that I talked about, so we could have that past data that had been developed as well as this new data to come up with an accurate model of the traffic conditions through the area. Once we established the existing traffic through the area, we ran a level of service analysis to kind of establish our baseline conditions through the area. And for the most part, there's a little bit of congestion, but operating conditions worked very well. We then took that traffic and grew it to the build year, which was 2015. We used traffic growth that we had seen from our past counts, as well as what we did currently, as well as we used the NJDOT standard traffic growth throughout the state of New Jersey, which was 2% in this area. We grew the traffic volumes to establish the no-build conditions before the site was built. What would happen in 2015 if the site was not there? That establishes our no-build conditions. We then took the traffic that would be put in the parking garage. Robert Wood Johnson gave us the employment data and the shift times for the different employees that will be using this garage to get an accurate picture of who will be coming in and out. Sometimes in traffic engineering, there's some shift generations that are done. This is actual data of users that will be using the garage. We took that information, we put it into our traffic model, and ran the traffic analysis again. And what we found was that there were some slight degradations in some of the levels of service. Where the on French Street at Goodsville, where there's going to be the new entrance, we had to do, as Chris has testified, there's going to be a modified traffic signal there. So we had to add a phase to that traffic signal to allow the garage traffic to exit onto French Street. So there was a little bit of degradation there, and as well as down at Easton Avenue, there was a little bit of degradation there. We saw an increase in delay of about 8 seconds. But one thing we should note is that once we got out of this immediate area, all the traffic volumes and operating conditions are still similar to today and what the no-build condition would be. Because this garage is not generating new traffic, it's taking the existing employees that are currently working at Robert Wood Johnson and just housing them in one spot. And from that, we looked at some retimings of the intersections, which helped a little bit with the level of service. And then we found that there was very little impact to the overall circulation within the city.
Any further questions?
Right. Well, what we did, as I had said, we had done the traffic study for the wellness center. So we had that as our base, all the traffic that was being generated as part of the wellness center.
was already in our traffic model, so we had that data, so that was included within our analysis, yes.
I know this is probably still up to negotiation with the town and the city, whoever, but has it anticipated that there will be restrictions in terms of movement at that exit on Front Street? So is it that when you're coming out of the garage, will you be permitted to make a left turn, or will it be a right turn only? Have you worked that out yet?
As far as I'm aware, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that, yes, all movements will be provided left, right, through,
And again, there have been meetings with county engineering officers to discuss those specific things. It is still currently under review with the county, but from the preliminary meetings that we've had with the engineering office, that all that's possible with the traffic. They do have to.
One of these four talks about the pedestrian access going from the wall down to Front Street and vice versa. Pedestrian flow out near where the train festival is now. Right now, there's not a crosswalk near access streets just at the Front Street, near where the pedestrian access is coming through. You guys consider it all whether a crosswalk would be appropriate to add in?
Yes, there's been internal discussions and also some review of that and requests for us to look at by the city administration. From the discussions that we've had with professionals, Robert Woods, the applicant, would be willing to accommodate the pedestrian walk across the French Street location, approximately where you've indicated. I think at the intersection of Kirkpatrick, right by the PC Bank. I think the preference is on PC Bank side. And Robert would be prepared to do that, provided the city engineers, the requesting supports it, as well as the county engineering office. In both cases, they have the jurisdiction to review that. I have had some preliminary discussions with the county, for them, through the engineering office, to look at that. There was some question whether the state would also have to approve that. But to the extent that all of the professional departments support it, Robert would be prepared to install it. I think there's some hurdles to it, and we have to look at each of the pedestrians. We are maintaining the pedestrian cross at Woodland Avenue. This would be a second and the third that's going at the train station. I think all of this is practical, but people do it anyway. So they're going to do it anyway. So that's the argument to the county engineering office and the council. But there are other considerations in the last city.
One of the previous meetings specified that the access to the gap between the manpower area and the balance will be open.
The peak hour is 7:30 to 8:30 in the morning and 5 to 6 in the evening.
So that's full on. I don't have the transportation background. Your testimony that creating a level of service of F is acceptable?
No, we're not creating a level of service out. There is an existing level of service out that is being maintained.
Your table 7 shows the level of service being created pre-MP for that same Front Street.
I think if you look at the no-build condition, that level of service is out. And it's once it's out, there's not much we can do with it. So, I'm sorry, which approach is that? Or which approach is that?
This is the eastbound on Front Street, at eastbound.
Yeah, I'll have to check that. I thought that was existing as a no-build as an app. But in that case, what's happening is that the cars are just being concentrated, and once they get beyond that intersection, if you look at the overall operation of that intersection, it's only increased by 8 seconds of delay.
The traffic there, car crossing that Other intersections, different approaches, you graded the level of service by 2 levels. A C or an E or an E or an F.
But when you look at the overall intersection, they would only drop down by one level of service. And that's typically as a traffic, we can play with the timing, to get certain approaches to operate a little bit better, but the overall intersection still operates well.
I think we ought to do that. I think, look at these plans. When you say all the traffic.
Hold on. So what is it that you suggest to do?
Check the signal plan. To see if we can make any adjustments, create a better level service.
That was part of the testimony that suggested. So the applicant check in, check.
Yeah, that would be between, the urban group and the county.
Both on the traffic center, so that the DOT is okay.
Is that, Albany,
Well, and Joyce Gilman and French and,
What's that,
Little Albany Law. The whole area.
I would now like to call my final witness, Mr. Fred Heyer, for planning testimony.
Okay.
Fred Heyer, E-T-Y-E-R. Yes, I do.
Mr. Heyer, you are a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey, is that correct?
I am a licensed professional planner for about 25 years, a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners. I've been a partner in the firm of Howard Rowan Associates for quite some time now. I've qualified as an expert before numerous boards, agencies, commissions, and in Superior Court in the state of New Jersey.
I'm going to let you go.
Okay, we were asked to take a look at this application and review it from a planning perspective and to see whether or not the relief requested was justified. First of all, we are in the downtown hospital and institutional zone. Key things are the use is permitted, the FAR is permitted, the height is permitted. So this is a use that was clearly anticipated by the zone. The intensity of the use, the character of the use is clearly consistent with the zone. As the civil engineer outlined, there are several deviations with respect to the location of the building relative to the lot line. There are 2 variances related to proximity to front yard. One of them is a 6.9-foot setback along French, where 10 feet is required, a small deviation along Albany Street for the entry, which is at 0, and a 3.8-foot setback, which is a side yard setback where 10 is required, along the Penn Central Railroad. With respect to the railroad setback first, that is an elevated railroad. There are no adjacent buildings. There is no impact. That's a minimal intrusion. It's a location where no one would be affected by it. The other 2 setbacks, the prevailing setback of the existing building is actually closer than the placement of the new structure. And in the case of the deviation for the French Street alignment, it's 6 foot 9 inches, or yes, it's 6 foot 9 inches only to those little bump outs to the bay window. And then they represent a fairly small percentage of that facade. The main portion of the building is actually 8 to 9 feet off of that lot line. Your ordinance also deals with setbacks in a way that's a little bit unusual, but it probably makes sense. It talks about providing open space in lieu of